About 2 weeks ago, somebody had sent me an email with a link and a captioning stating Tommy Sotomayor is now beefing with Kevin Samuels. And this was a live stream produced from Solo TV 84. I think I might have seen some of this guy's stuff a few years ago. I don't remember too much or know too much about the guy. But he pretty much was hosting a live stream where he had O'Shea Duke Jackson at the beginning of the live stream, and then at some point of the live stream, Tommy Sotomayor gets on the live stream. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to let people listen to some of the things here that are stated in this live stream. And I mentioned something years ago, and anybody who's familiar with the history between me and Tommy Sotomayor knows that this is a man that I no longer deal with. He was a man that at one point, I rocked with from 2012 up until 2015. And I stated, I would say probably 2017, I believe I mentioned this, that this is a man that I would never fuck with again, ever. But I'm going to get into that a little bit later on in the video. What I'm going to do is I'm going to let y'all listen to some stuff, and then I'm going to go ahead and give you my take on what I'm listening to.
That's what I'm looking at. A bomb was created. Something that's going to destroy us, not build us. I don't understand how you don't see it. So I look at it as a hater because I'm trying to tell you what's happening. That I see that this whole idea of a bunch of men wanting to be the biggest dog on the smallest park. There's going to come a day when we're going to need to work together and we're not going to be able to do it because we haven't done it. Practice makes perfect. Even Allen Iverson had to come back. And you remember how funny we thought it was? When he was yelling, practice, practice, practice. Guess what happened?
His best
That man found
friend
himself
just died.
and wishes he had taken practice seriously. That's the problem. We love to laugh at a nigga saying stupid shit. Then follow the nigga saying stupid shit. Cause he got the loudest voice and he funny and he clowning that other guy. But that other guy's just making his way and keeping his head down and doing his job every day and doing his job every day. Somebody said, look at Melo now. Exactly. Michael Vick will tell you if he'd have went in the damn quarterback room and learned, but y'all loved listening to niggas saying crispy, Tommy's hairline, Tommy done this, that, and the other. But don't you understand? You've done it for 10 years. Somebody in the comment section said, Tommy lied. Tommy hasn't been on YouTube since 2009. I never said I've been on YouTube since 2009. I'm always answering questions I never said. Because when we get to a point where it's time to work together, we're not going to be able to because we never practiced. That was my only point. I don't need them dudes. I don't need those dudes. Yeah, Johnny Man said, I don't need those dudes. But I am talking to the younger people. So there's some young dudes who know of Kevin Samuels and probably don't know of me. But now that I've been able to say it on the show, they'll be able to go and say, well, I can listen here or I can listen there. And I can understand what his argument is. Because his argument is, how is this grown-ass man who knows where he got these arguments and who y'all keep saying, he shout you out, he shout you out. But you have a show called The Seven or whatever the fuck it is and Homelander don't get on? You got the Justice League and Superman didn't get a call?
Damn. Shout
All right, so let me just pause it right there. Let me first start off by addressing the host, Solo TV 84, because this is a common problem that I've stated about black men time and time again. And Solo TV is going to actually mention this later on in this brief recording that I'm going to let y'all finish listening to. But when you run around being starstruck over another man, that's a serious problem for me. When I see a grown man being starstruck over another man, which he's going to mention, and he's actually referenced it a few times before I even got to this point, because we're about an hour and 2 minutes or an hour and 1 minute into this thing, or pretty much where I let y'all start listening to it. I believe it was at the 58-minute mark. Or better yet, no, my mistake. This is the 2 hour and 1 minute mark. I started letting y'all listen to it at the 1 hour and 58-minute mark. And I started listening to this, and I believe I got up to about 2 hours and 15 minutes before I decided to say, you know what, let me put a pause on this, and I'll come back to this as soon as I get some time. Unfortunately, it's been over a week since I've looked at that and have not really gotten around to addressing this. So I know I'm late to the game when it comes down to this. But I'll say this much when it comes down to Solo TV 84. It's one thing to support somebody. It's one thing to endorse somebody. It's one thing to even financially back somebody. But when you run around saying that you are starstruck over a man, now let me just go ahead and make this perfectly clear for those who have not seen this live stream. Toward the beginning of the live stream when Sotomayor first got on, this is a man who was going in on Solo TV 84, called him a bitch, said that he had effeminate behaviors. And I will give just a little credit where credit is due, because Solo TV 84 came back and checked him on that and said, listen, don't talk to me like that on my channel. You're not going to do that. But once somebody decides to come on your panel and disrespect you like that, and you can still reference on not one, not two, but multiple occasions after the fact that this has happened, that you are still starstruck over this individual being on your panel, that is a serious issue. Now, to move on from that point and address what Tommy Sotomayor is stating, these are very distinctive patterns, shall I say, that I've recognized with Sotomayor. Now, anybody who knows the history between me and this man would know or would have an idea of what I'm talking about here. And apparently he has an issue with Kevin Samuels. Now, I'll go ahead and I'll say this much right now. I'm no fan of Kevin Samuels. I don't watch the man that often. Once in a blue moon, I'll listen to some of the stuff he talks about. But to sit back and to watch Tommy Sotomayor talk about how somebody else stole his stuff. I mean, this is a very distinctive pattern as far as what he has done when it came down to the beef between me and him, I would say, more than 5.5 years ago. Now, you don't have to be a fan of Kevin Samuels. You don't have to endorse what he states to know that what Tommy Sotomayor is talking about is total bullshit. When you look at the two of them, they have completely different styles. Tommy Sotomayor came on the scene calling himself Mr. Controversy. Kevin Samuels talks about high-value men. What about Kevin Samuels' style even remotely mimics Tommy Sotomayor? The two of these dudes don't even run in the same genre. So when you hear Sotomayor saying things of this nature, and the thing what I find strange about him now is he's referencing how black men don't work together. And this is ironic coming from a man like Tommy Sotomayor, because you are the same man who has endless reputation for getting into silly, goofy, redundant beefs with black men over nonsense. You have done this throughout your entire time on YouTube. This is what you've done. But yet at the same time, after having silly, goofy, redundant squabbles, you can still get your ass online and try to make it seem as if you are somehow trying to unify black men. Saying, you see, black men, we need to work together, and there's going to be a time, no, dude, just stop it. Stop it. And listen, I'll say this much. I agree with what you're saying when you say that black men need to work together. I've been preaching this bullshit for the past 5 fucking years now. However, the messenger is unqualified and unfit to go forth preaching this message. Why? Because you don't practice what you preach. And it's one thing to have a disagreement with another brother. That's one thing. That doesn't disqualify you. It's another thing when you go out your way to literally try to destroy another brother because you simply had a disagreement with that brother. And this is something that you have consistently done over the years with multiple black men. Countless times this has happened. So once again, listening to this coming out of Sotomayor's mouth, this is something that I don't take seriously. This is something that is rather laughable to me. And this is how he typically tries to come across. And when he has an issue with another man, even though, like I said before, Kevin Samuels and Tommy Sotomayor don't even run in the same genre. I mean, you look at Tommy Sotomayor's background and you look at Kevin Samuels' background. Two completely different styles. Kevin Samuels is suited and booted. Has on glasses in his videos. Decided to change up his image. And this is something else that I want to mention also. That Tommy decided to go in on during the beginning of this live stream. Because as O'Shea Duke Jackson was on the live stream, O'Shea Duke Jackson mentioned how Kevin Samuels, when he first came on the scenes years ago, I mean, the oldest video that I've seen of his was from 2015, and I briefly looked at it was a video. It was the same video where I stated he said he's surprised, or it's no wonder that he's not gay. Now that's the only reason why I even know that video. I just happened to click on it, and that was it. Now I don't know how far his channel goes back as far as how long he's actually been on YouTube, so I couldn't actually speak on that. But just looking at his style at that time compared to who he is now, O'Shea Duke Jackson mentioned that Kevin Samuels realized he was a little stale. He was a little boring, a little dry. So he decided to bring himself back to the drawing board and reinvent himself and carve out a niche that actually works for him. Now, listen, I don't have to agree with Kevin Samuels. I don't have to like the guy. But you will never hear me hating on another man for them finding out or utilizing something that actually works to their advantage. That's simple. I'll never do that. I have no reason to. So as I'm sitting back and I'm listening to Tommy Sotomayor talk about, well, when was the last time you seen me have to reinvent myself? I've always been who I am. And listen, let me say this much. I don't have an issue with that either. But the fact of the matter is you have to now question, why is it a big deal and why do you, Tommy Sotomayor, have a problem with another man reinventing himself? How does that become a burden on you or something that you dislike? I mean, this has hate written all over it. And I'm not even one who will sit up and say some shit like this, but I'm sorry. This is an invalid reason to have a dislike with somebody. So now when Tommy Sotomayor is sitting here talking about, he stole my style. Once again, I want you to look at the background of Kevin Samuels. Kevin Samuels, in many cases of his live stream, starts it off with a countdown, a 9-minute, 10-minute countdown, whatever. Crystalline Karazin even stated that she got that idea from him. Tommy Sotomayor usually starts his off with an intro and goes right into his videos. Kevin Samuels starts his live streams off with soft music, candlelights lit, and dim lights. A clean-cut appearance. He has that ornament in the background, whatever that thing is that goes up and down, or whatever it is. And then you look at Tommy Sotomayor's background, what you see this. Some t-shirts, a flag, a bunch of shit in the background. I don't know what the fuck all this shit is. I really don't give a damn. But the point that I'm making here is the two styles are completely different. And for Tommy Sotomayor to sit up here and have such an issue with this man, and I want you to notice the arrogance when you want to talk about narcissistic behavior. Tommy Sotomayor fits the epitome of that description. This is just what it is. And I want you to listen to what he stated earlier. How do you have a podcast called The Justice League and Superman doesn't get a call? And when he's talking about Superman, he's referring to himself as of him being Superman. I want you to think about this. Now, over the years, Tommy Sotomayor was once sitting in the spotlight where he was the top guy when it came down to black men on YouTube voicing our opinions. He was at one point. He has since fallen off. As far as Tommy Sotomayor is concerned, he's somebody that I used to frequently watch his videos on a regular basis. I no longer watch his content. After that fallout between me and him back in 2015 took place, I've unfollowed him from all his social media accounts. I've unsubscribed from him on YouTube in any other panel, which I believe it was just YouTube. I deleted his number. I completely removed myself out of contact with this man. Even to the point where videos of his would have shown up on my timeline, I wouldn't watch them. Now, every now and again, his videos might pop up on my timeline. Even though for whatever reason, when I first click on my home screen on YouTube, his name is tagged into the to the tag section. Now, I'm not necessarily sure how to remove that, but I guess I'll eventually figure it out. That's neither here nor there. But even then, with his name tagged there, his stuff still doesn't come up. So the point that I'm making here is this. Tommy Sotomayor, you lost, or you're no longer sitting at that niche that you were at one point. And it's not because Kevin Samuels is more talented than you, because you are very talented. I don't like you. I don't agree with you. I don't fuck with you. But I will call it for what it is, straight down the goddamn middle. You are a talented individual. That's just what it is. And that's regardless of whatever my personal opinion might be about you. But your talent or lack thereof is not the reason why you are no longer in the same spot that you once were in. The reason why you are no longer in that same spot that you once were in is because you lost legitimacy. And you did that by fucking up your integrity. Now, there are many reasons why you have fucked this up and where your integrity is shot to hell. Now, there's something that I'm going to show you that many of you who actually still frequent this man's channels and frequent his social media accounts might already know. You might already know this. And as a matter of fact, there's something that is highlighted that is showcasing this right on this screen that we're looking at. Let me just make sure my phone don't go to sleep. I'm not going to point it out to you, but you just take a look, and if you know what it is, you can feel free to leave it in the comment thread. But there are many different reasons on why this man has lost integrity. And if you're seeing what I'm seeing, that's one of the reasons why. His credibility is shot. And you only have yourself to blame behind this. But anyhow, let me continue going on with this.
To Mr. G, the recycling guy, he says high values 10K for minimum of 60 months, LinkedIn status, usage among peers, large network. And so that is Kevin's definition right there that you see in the super chat, Tommy. Do you want to address that at all? I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
I'm sorry, say it again.
So Mr. G, the recycling guy who just donated the $20, the high value, this is Kevin's definition, is make 10K a month, but for a length of 60 months. So, 60 months, 3 to 5 years. LinkedIn status, you have a good resume in your LinkedIn, usage among peers, and a large network. That is Kevin Samuels' definition of a high value man. Tom.
Who has a better resume? Yeah, I can listen to that. So let me question. Who has a better resume than me?
You used to work for IBM.
Look it up. You can go look it up. Look at mine. Google my resume. It's online. Still there. Okay. I was showing people emails that I still get now from Fortune 500 companies wanting me to still come work for them. And I've been in the game since 2009, 2008.
Well, Tommy, I say this respectfully, but I don't think anybody's questioning that you're a high value. You're definitely a high value.
No. I was saying, if you're saying this man's high value, this version of high value is these people in this group. Fuck even I listened to Tommy and I took some points from Tommy. Eventually, again, I just keep going back to this idea of where's the work together. I work with all of them.
Let me just pause it really quick and interject. He said, fuck that I took some points from Tommy and fuck that, whatever. He's pretty much saying that he took some points. If anybody knows what talking points did Kevin Samuels take from Tommy Sotomayor, please feel free to let me know in the comment thread. If you have a link and want to leave a timestamp along with that link, feel free to do so. I know one of the things that he's talking about, well, Kevin Samuels took that talking point, what was it, his viral video that he did last year, 2020, late last year, Your Average at Best, the video that went viral between him and Jessica Gardner. let me just go ahead and make this perfectly clear. But yeah, I'm gonna let y'all listen. This, like I said, this is just me briefly interjecting. So I'm gonna let y'all listen. Then I'm gonna go back into what I gotta say.
Tommy,
They work with people who are smaller than them, who they can control, because we as black men are fearful. I would have never been fearful that Kevin would come on my show and my audience would go listen to him. Just like right now, I'm on your show.
facts. And
And
Tommy,
I'm not worried that my audience will come listen to you. And you see how your numbers went up from versus when I came on the show.
facts.
When I came in here, it was 800. It's 1,400 now.
Let's just pause it right there. And see, let me just briefly reference Solo TV 84. When you're starstruck, there are certain things you're not going to be picking up on. When you are starstruck over another man, there are certain talking points that you're not going to notice. And just by the way, to briefly elaborate on why I'm even addressing this video, is because there was briefly some things that were mentioned about me that were incorrect once again. So when I tell you that there's a reason why I will never fuck with this man ever again, this is part of the reason why. But you're going to hear that later on in this video. But let me just go back to what I was saying about Mr. Solo TV 84. And anybody who thinks like this man and can't pick up on what's happening, and since I've actually seen this pattern with Sotomayor, this is something that you really need to be aware of. Because this is what this man is going to tell you. You notice how since I came onto your live stream, you went from having 800 viewers to now 1,400 viewers. Essentially what he is doing is taking credit for the success of your channel. This is what this man does. This is what his argument is, and he will let me kind of, I guess I can say it like this. Just kind of think about the woman who takes on a guy. Now this woman has herself together. Maybe she's fairly attractive looking, or very attractive looking, or average looking. But she has herself together, has her own car, has her own money, her own place, maybe runs a business, and she finds a man who is down and out in his luck. And after finding him being down and out in his luck, it's not that he was lazy, it's not that he's shiftless, it's not that he's a bum. It's just that he fell on hard times and he needs a reset. He needs to get himself back together. He might need a little bit of help to get himself back on his feet. So she now finds this man and helps him get back on his feet, puts him on to a couple of connects, plugs him into some resources, and he takes these opportunities and he runs with it. Why? Because he was not down and out in his luck because he was lazy. No, he just happened to have become a rock caught in a hard place. But now once he reaches a level of success that goes above her, that's when she starts having a problem with this man. Don't forget, I made you and I can break you. Don't forget who looked out for you and took care of you when you had nothing. This is what she's going to bring up to you. She's going to attribute all of your success onto her. You owe me. And this is exactly what it is, the mind state of Tommy Sotomayor. So the same way he will show up into your live stream and you'll start seeing your views soar after he shows up. He will now claim success or claim some kind of an attachment. And you got to understand, this is a part of the reason why he's upset with Kevin Samuels for not reaching out to him. But the same way he will bring subscribers and boost up your views. If you happen to have let me just say this much, because there are two types of men. The types of men that he is going to have fallouts with are going to be the alpha males. Because an alpha male is going to let you know what you can and what you can't get away with. An alpha male is going to let you know when you step onto his panel that you're in my territory, you're in my house. Take your shoes off, take your hat off. An alpha male is going to let you know I regulate the climate in here, not you. You're a guest. A beta male, on the other hand, he's probably going to have no fallouts with because a beta male is going to let him talk to them any way he feels fit. A beta male is going to allow this man to walk into their territory and dominate in their territory, dominating them within their territory, which I've actually sit back and listened to in this live stream with Solo TV 84. I've listened to Tommy Sotomayor talk over you, dominate the conversation, run the panel the way he feels fit, despite the fact that this is your live stream. Now, the same way it seems all good, oh man, he's bringing up views and bringing me more subscriptions based off of this interview, will be the same way if he has a fallout with you. He will then turn around and state and take claim to the success of your channel. And this is a common tactic that he uses amongst black men. He tried this with myself included. This is another reason why I say everything that he's saying about Kevin Samuels, this is all too familiar. Because this is the exact same shit he tried to say about me. Now, mind you, I'm a significantly smaller YouTuber than Tommy has ever been. And you would figure as big as he is, and at the time I had even fewer subs at that time in 2015 when we had our fallout. But he tried to take claim to all of the success that my channel has had. And everything was all good as long as we were cool with each other. But the minute we had a fallout, that's when you start to realize, okay, this is the shit you're really on. And what he sat back and said is, listen, look at your view count. You can't even average over 4,000 views. These are things that he stated. The only videos are your videos with the highest amount of views are the videos with me in it. This is what he stated. Even though that is a complete and bold-faced lie. As a matter of fact, if I wanted this channel to soar higher than it has ever been, the videos I would have stuck to were the videos pertaining to boiler operations. Consistently. Consecutively. Annually, I could say. Every single year during heating season, like clockwork. I get people from all different backgrounds leaving me messages on those videos pertaining to heating systems and boiler systems. Every single year. This has never ceased to fail from the time I first uploaded one of those videos on this channel. These are my highest viewed videos that I have on the channel. And even if they're not, the highest viewed videos that I've done are not the ones with him in it. But notice how he wants to claim success or take claim to that success, because this is who he is. And then if he has a problem with you, he will threaten to destroy your channel, as he threatened to do with my channel. And I remember this distinctively. In 2015, when he came to New York, I remember when he got to New York, he posted a video in Central Park. I seen it. And I said, okay, we met up last year when he came to New York in 2014. If he's interested in seeing me, then he'll hit me up. He's got my number. He's got my information. I didn't hear anything from him. Then what ends up happening, I end up getting a bunch of messages from mutual friends that we both know. And also what I'm going to do in this video, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to showcase the screenshots from, well, let me put a pause on that for a minute until after I need to say what I got, until after he references what he says about me. But let me say this much here. When it boils down to the fallout that me and him had, the videos that I had with him in it, and I remember when this happened, people were contacting me after he left New York City. And he was hosting a live stream. That's where I meant to go with this. I remember when he got to New York because I seen him. He did reach out to me. And some people, mutual friends of the both of ours, were reaching out to me saying to contact him. I'll get into that in a little bit later on. Once he left New York, I remember I was at the gym. And a friend of mine contacted me stating, yo, this man is in a live stream going in on you. Going in. Now I said, listen, just leave me the link and leave it a timestamp. And when I got home, I looked for that exact link and timestamp. And when I seen that shit, I posted a comment on his comment thread. Of course, what I stated wasn't friendly, because what the man was doing was sitting up and lying on me. When he decided to respond, what he stated was, listen, you got 48 hours to get my videos that you have with me in it off your channel, or your entire channel goes bye-bye. This is what he stated. Every video that I produced pertaining to him at that time, he attempted to flag it down. 2, which he was successful at flagging down. 1, which I reposted. But this is how the man gets down. And even though, despite the fact that the videos that I had with him in it were not his videos, they were my videos. They were produced by my equipment, my recording equipment, and published on my channel. So they were not your videos. He even went as far as to state that let me make sure the screen don't fall asleep on me. He even went as far as to state that the videos that we did of us walking through Harlem, that I stole video footage from him. Despite the fact that the man wasn't recording anything. But he said I stole video footage from him. So once again, when y'all start becoming starstruck and listening to this man, oh man, that's facts, you bringing me all these subscriptions, understand the same way that he's bringing you subscriptions will be the same way he will try to destroy your damn channel if he has a fallout with you. Because this is how the man gets down. And he will try to take claim to your success, which is a reason why he is pissed off with Kevin Samuels. Say what you want to say about Kevin Samuels. Kevin Samuels built himself from the ground up. That I can acknowledge. Kevin Samuels has his own brand that he brings to the YouTube platform. That we all can see as clear as day. Nobody can take it away from him. Whether you love the guy, whether you hate him, the man has established himself on his own. That's it. So when you sit back and you listen to Tommy Sotomayor pissed off with his narcissistic mentality saying, well, how do you hold a program called the Justice League and Superman don't get a call? The reason why he is so pissed off and now he is trying to link Kevin Samuels to stealing his content, stealing his talking points, stealing his style, which is a complete fallacy. It makes no goddamn sense. But the reason why he is pissed off about this, because he knows that he has fallen off, and I'm talking about Tommy Sotomayor. Tommy Sotomayor knows that he has lost relevance over the years. He knows that he is not viewed as he once was years ago. He knows that he's not sitting at the top of the spotlight that he once was many years ago. And the fact that he can't get onto a panel with Kevin Samuels, and this is the reason why he wants to do it, so he can now link himself to the success of Kevin Samuels so he can take claim to it. Because had Kevin Samuels actually brought him onto a live stream, held a live stream with him, what Tommy Sotomayor would be able to say, especially if Kevin Samuels would have done this on a consistent basis, what Tommy Sotomayor would then be able to say is, well, see, the success to your channel is contributed to me. I'm the one that brought you to the level that you're at. This is just how the man thinks. This is why he's now trying to link this man to stealing his content, stealing his talent, stealing his creativity, which makes no goddamn sense. Like I said, the two of them have two completely different personas. How do you even remotely link Kevin Samuels to Tommy Sotomayor to say that this man is stealing your style? It sounds completely fucking stupid, but this man would attempt to run with it. I mean, this shit right here is equivalent to the mainstream media trying to make it seem as if blacks are doing all of these hate crimes against Asians, which makes no fucking sense. And when you listen to this shit, it sounds completely fucking stupid. But this is what the man is doing. Because why? He wants to be able to make or take claim to his success. And since he can't do it now, the only excuse he can run with is, well, I got to find a way to, what can I come up with? He stole my ideas. No, nobody stole your ideas. This is the same shit you say to everybody. And whenever you have a fallout with another YouTuber, the first thing he resorts back to is all of your videos of you talking about me or with me in it are the ones that get the highest views. He's done this shit with me. He's done with this shit with Monty Woodgrain. He's done this shit with a host of other black men. And try to insinuate that somehow they have stolen his content. Or the only way that you can actually generate views is when you're either talking about him or when you're in a video with him. Because he has to make it seem as if he's the life of the goddamn party. This is the way the man works. The best thing that Kevin Samuels can do is to continue doing what he's been doing, which is to completely ignore your black ass and have no doings with you, none whatsoever. If you were having endless fallouts with black men after black men after black men, the common denominator here is you. But let's continue to get into this.
Tommy, here's the thing. And by the way, like I said, I didn't expect you to come on. Usually, Tommy, I'm prepared, but like I said, I'm a little starstruck. That's why I'm sipping on this Perrier, trying to come up with questions. Because had I known you were coming, I would have been ready.
Let me pause it right there. He just confirmed it. He's a little bit starstruck. No, you're not a little bit starstruck. You are starstruck. But anyhow, let's continue.
Ask my audience. Usually, my interviews go a lot better than this. I promise you that. Tommy, there's some people that you have a reputation for for not being able to get along with people. So maybe that's why, and I'm not speaking for Kevin, but maybe that's why he has reservations of collaborating with you, because he doesn't want to be another person to end up on that big screen of yours. And I'm not trying to throw shade at you. I'm just saying.
No. I can understand this. So who is it that people find out that I name some people I work with and I fall out?
I mean, Tariq Nasheed is obviously one.
Okay, and how did me and Tariq Nasheed fall out? Did I turn on him or did he turn on me?
Now, from my understanding, because I saw the video, Tariq claims that you were trolling him or something like that. I don't know.
Very non-specific, right? But
Right.
every time I tell the story, it's very specific, and it never changes.
Okay, and can you give me your version? Because I never heard your side of it.
It was simple. I didn't know when we had that thing in my
Let me just pause it there for a second. I don't know if y'all noticed the same thing I'm looking at. This t-shirt he has on with, let me see. I identify my ethnicity as Asian, Black, African. I can't see the other ones, but I don't know. That just stood out to me just a little bit. So I just wanted to point that out. Maybe somebody else. I don't know. Anyway, let me keep on going.
at the mansion that I was at. I didn't know he had a problem with me. As a matter of fact, when he was on the list, when he was on the show, he was cracking jokes at me, and I just laughed. I'm very self-deprecating. It doesn't bother me. He was making jokes with me on me at my own show, and it never bothered me. So he kept doing it though after the show, and I didn't know it. And people were saying, "Why do you keep big up in Tariq Nasheed, but he's talking shit about you?" I said, "No, he's not talking shit about me." And so one night I was on my show and I was listening to it, and he would now start talking shit about me, the same person that he was cool with, and I didn't get it, but I still didn't roast him. Then he was starting to call me crispy. I ain't gonna say that nigga name, but he's just a YouTuber. So one day somebody called into my show and they asked me, what did I think about Hidden Colors? This was all I said. I said, I enjoyed Hidden Colors too. I said, I hope he starts talking about the aspect of the Jews and what the Jews have taken from blacks. I said, that to me will be powerful. I don't know why he hasn't addressed it, but hopefully he'll address it in the next one. It was done. It was done when I said that. And I was like, how is that taking a shot at his movie?
Okay.
Somebody called my show and asked me a question. That was.
Let me pause it there. Let me say this much. I'm not too familiar with what took place between him and Tariq Nasheed. But anybody who's been watching me for a number of years or has known of me since I first been on YouTube in 2011 knows that in 2014, me and Tommy Sotomayor linked up and we did some video collaborations together. When he first got to New York, he was in a hotel room downtown, pretty much around the United Nations. After having the interview, I think it was like a 3-part interview that we did. After the cameras went off, I remember he was mentioning something about Tariq Nasheed. He was speaking in some non-favorable terms of Tariq Nasheed. And the minute I started hearing of this happening, I knew that it was only a matter of time before the two of them had a falling out. I knew it. Now, as far as who did what first, nobody knows, but what we do know is this much. Tommy Sotomayor lies on so many different occasions, it's hard to know whether he's telling the truth from a lie. But the one thing I can tell you is that this man cannot be trusted. I've told y'all this in the past. And as a matter of fact, I do remember even when I was over at the hotel back at 2014, this man was sitting here. I mean, it was a family that supported Tommy Sotomayor. I believe Tommy went and got a camera for the son or something like that. I forgot what it was. But it was a wife, a husband, and a son. And they made a video giving a shout out to the guy. And Tommy was talking about how he was getting ready to fuck this man's wife and didn't even know it. So this is, okay, enough of these stupid notifications. This is pretty much what Sotomayor does behind the scenes. And this is another reason why, and this goes for anybody being starstruck over another man that you don't know. Because when you're running around being starstruck over another goddamn human being that you don't know, never met personally, can't say this person has done anything significant that has changed your life, but you're running around being giddy like a schoolgirl, shit like that can end up happening to you without you even knowing it. Your wife can end up getting fucked by this same guy, and you too starstruck to pick up on it. But once again, like I stated before, that's just the tie into this whole thing between him and Tariq Nasheed. But anyhow, let me let this continue going on. Then I'm going to close out this video.
My answer.
Okay. What happened with you in Kwesi 100?
I barely remember that guy, but I do know this. He started to get mad because people said when I went to New York and I met him, he started to get mad because whenever you're an underling, so to speak, or thought of as an underling, if people keep mentioning that, you get mad as a man sometimes and want to make your own way, like Scottie Pippen did when they kept saying, you're number 2 to Michael Jordan.
Yes, sir.
Man can't handle that.
Yes, sir. Like Kyrie Irving or LeBron. Yep.
There you go. Mm-hmm. So that literally was what that was. I didn't do anything to him. They just kept fucking with him.
I didn't do anything to him. They just kept fucking with him. Notice how whenever he... that seems to be his infamous word. But notice how he says things that are applicable to him and now tries to push that off onto other people. Because for years now, he's complained that they keep fucking with me. They keep fucking with me. They keep fucking with me. And that was the same thing he's been saying. Tariq Nasheed made jokes on him behind this. They keep fucking with me. So they're fucking with you. They're fucking with they're fucking with me. They're fucking with we. But I ain't do anything to him. They just kept fucking with him. Right. Okay. So he says kind of when you're looked at as an underling. So what he's trying to insinuate is that I had some sort of a jealousy issue with Tommy Sotomayor. This is what he's insinuating. And then I just got mad and had a problem with him. I want y'all to pay attention to something that I've told y'all. I've been saying this for years now. If you really want to understand something about a person, look at their pattern. Their pattern is going to tell you a whole lot about them. A whole lot. And when their pattern starts to change, that's when you can know whether they're actually telling you the truth or whether they're blowing smoke up your ass, so to speak. Now, y'all got to hold on for a second because there's something distracted me. Anyhow. But here's what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do. The information that I'm getting ready to showcase to you is the same exact screenshots that I showcased to y'all in videos that I did back in 2015 when I had my fallout with this guy. And what I'm also going to do, those very same videos, I've set them to private. I've set a whole lot of my videos to private. But what I will do is I'm going to link in the description box directly underneath my PayPal link for those of you who would like to donate. I'm going to link in the description box all of the videos that I did back at that time when me and him had a fallout more than 5.5 years ago. So you'll be able to view those videos not by going to my channel, but you got to go to this video and click the links in the description box, and that will take you to those videos, and you can see verbatim what actually had taken place between the two of us. But I told y'all there's a reason why I will never fuck with this man ever again. Ever. We're done. And it was 2016 when he actually, I'm going to let y'all see it. But the issue that I have with Tommy Sotomayor, and this is the problem when it comes down to Tommy Sotomayor, Not that he has disagreements with other black men, but the lengths that he's willing to go to try to substantiate his case, to try to prove his case, because he knows in many cases the reason why he's beefing with other black men are over petty, stupid fucking reasons. Here he is holding an entire beef toward Kevin Samuels. Kevin Samuels hadn't even responded to him as far as I know. Because the person who sent me the link of this video of Tommy having a problem with Kevin Samuels hasn't sent me any information about Kevin Samuels even responding. Because this is the one thing that we know that is very consistent with Kevin Samuels. For the most part, well, I've never seen him respond back to somebody else who's made a video disagreeing with what he says. He doesn't do that shit. And if there's one thing a lot of you black men can learn, I would say that's one of his more favorable traits. But anyhow, this man having beefs with other black men or disagreeing with other black men is not the problem. But the fact that he will go out of his way to literally slander black men. And then the problem is when you're dealing with beta males, yeah, it becomes easy to slander a beta male. Because a beta male doesn't know how to substantiate their case. A beta male doesn't know what they thoroughly need to do in order to be able to prove their case. But when you come across an alpha male, just like he did back in 2015 when he tried that bullshit with me, I made him look fucking stupid. And many others have done this as well. But what I'm going to do right now is let's pull this up. We are going to go on to these screenshots. And this is pretty much just running down what had actually taken place and how the whole thing got started. This goes all the way back to 2014. This is in no original order. This is just a matter of, as I had the folder in a previous storage card and I deleted it off this storage card. Because I said, all right, I'm done. The shit happened years ago. So there's no reason for me to hold this information in my storage cards. And then when I looked at this live stream and listened to what he stated, I said, you know what? Let me go ahead and check an older storage card that I have and see if the information is still on there. So this is literally what I'm going to do. But also, just to get back to what I was saying a little while ago, I want y'all to understand the pattern of myself, the pattern of Tommy Sotomayor. Notice the pattern of whatever it is applicable to or whomever it might be applicable to. If Tommy Sotomayor is saying that I had a fallout with him because I was an underling, I was backing this man for 3-4 years before this shit even happened. So it figured it would have manifested itself a lot sooner than this. Why hasn't it happened sooner? Why would I wait until 2015 when he's in New York City to go ahead and have a beef with this man? It makes no fucking sense. But notice how, and this is another area where you can pick up on where the man is completely fucking lying. When it boils down to between him and Tariq Nasheed, he said his story is never changed. It's always the same and very detailed. Tariq Nasheed's story is never detailed. But yet, when he asked you about the next person, which is myself, what happened between you and the... Let me just go ahead and say this to y'all. Because a lot of y'all are still referring to me as a channel name that I have not used in over 7 years. Akwesi 100 is a channel name that I have not used since mid-2014. I have changed the name up since 2014 to the Brother of Logic and Common Sense. That is the only channel name y'all need to be referencing. And just to give you all a little history on how that Akwesi 100 even came into fruition. If you go ahead and you look at my YouTube info, I believe it's information or whatever it is, you'll see that the channel has been up since 2010. I believe January 2010. You would have seen it when I still had the videos posted, but I've since set a whole lot of videos to private now. The first vlog videos that I've ever uploaded was back in 2011, so that's more than 10 years ago. However, I did have some older videos that I did back in 2010 that I simply decided to delete before I even posted those vlog videos. So the channel has been up, and when I first set up the channel back in 2010, YouTube only gave you a limited amount of names that you can use to classify or identify your channel under. And once you gave it a name, that was it. So the only thing that was available to me was Akwesi 100. I would have never ran with that name. I think it's a lame name. So when those of you who refer to me as Akwesi 100, no. please refer to me as the brother of logic and common sense. That's what the channel name is. That's what it's been for a very long time now. And Equacy 100 is a name that I would not have used in the first chance I got to change that name up. That is exactly what I did. So just to once again remind y'all, for those of you who reference me, refer to it as the brother of logic and common sense. It could be 20 years that I'll be on YouTube and y'all still calling me Equacy 100. Makes no sense. But anyhow, what was I saying before then? Oh, patterns. I want y'all to pick up on patterns. So Tommy Sotomayor mentions how his beef with Tariq Nasheed, when Tariq tells it, the story is not detailed. It's very vague. But when he tells it, it never changes and is very detailed. But the funny thing is, around that time when he had his beef with Tariq Nasheed, he had his beef with me, which was, I would say, within a year apart or less. So how is it with Tariq Nasheed, you can give this detailed descriptions as of what happened, but with me, which you actually had screenshots to document and try to doctor up a bunch of bullshit that never even occurred, you can't seem to remember what the hell happened between the two of us. Because all of a sudden now, I hardly remember that guy. But, he was looked at as an underling, and he was upset behind that, and he tried to make his own way. Even though I had a reputation well before that. Even though people to this day still know who the hell I am. Solo TV knows who I am. I'm not too familiar with who this guy is, though. So people do know who I am. I might not produce content like I used to. I might not be as relevant as I once was. And at the end of the damn day, listen, I don't really have a problem with that. I'm not looking for fame. But this is literally what Sotomayor is trying to insinuate, that I was looking for fame and I was upset that I was underneath him or looked at as an underling. But over the past couple of years, I've taken myself off. My face is no longer on YouTube. You have a handful of videos where you actually see my face. I'm not on here looking to gain attention. I'm not on here looking for a popularity contest. I'm on here pushing a message. That's my purpose. Other than that, I don't give a fuck about being the most popular guy on YouTube. I don't care. Listen, man, I'll tell you this much. I've seen so many boiler mechanics that have come across me and say, I've seen your face before. I've seen you. You're that guy on YouTube, right? You did the boiler videos. And I say, oh my God, here we go again. Because the videos got so much goddamn views that just about every boiler mechanic knows who the hell I am. It's ridiculous. But this is what I'm establishing right here is the fact that I don't want the attention like that. I don't care for guys who work in the same field and say, hey, I know you. No, I'd rather they don't know me. But that's just what it is. So I want you to understand my pattern. My pattern showcases a man who is low profile. If you've seen me or if you see me out and about, I'm off about my business. I don't interact with people too much because I keep a very low profile. That's just the way I am. I'm a very private individual. That's just the way I roll. But now, once again, I want you to establish the pattern. Let me just make sure I click the screen so the screen don't go to sleep on me. I want you to establish the pattern of how I operate. If I'm jealous-hearted because other YouTubers get more views than I do, have a bigger following than I do, then this clearly should have manifested itself. And let's just say Tommy Sotomayor was the first person that this would have manifested itself with. Then clearly there should have been a pattern and a track record that shows this, that this has manifested itself with other people time and time again, and it hasn't. Why would it manifest itself only one time if this were true? And I'll give you some examples. Because, as I told you, I was cool with Sotomayor at one point. Back the man at one point. So why would I all of a sudden have a problem knowing that he had a bigger following than me from the time he's gotten on YouTube? Why would I 3 or 4 years later have a problem with that and decide, I want to attack this man now? It makes no goddamn sense. Because if that were the case, then shouldn't the same pattern have manifested itself with David Carroll? I mean, David Carroll has a bigger following than me. For years, I've listened to you Negroes call me David Carroll Jr. You bit his style. You did this. You did that. I don't even respond to that shit. But y'all been saying this about me for years. Tell me at one point in time, have you ever seen me attacking this man? Because, they say I'm second to you. I'm tired of this. I want to be Batman. I'm tired of being Robin. I've even had people say, well, you're Robin and he's Batman. This is what I heard people say. You've not one time even heard me respond to this shit. Because that's how little I give a fuck about it. So what I am actually showcasing for you is there is no pattern that showcases that this actually manifested itself. It's the same thing when it comes down to law enforcement and trying to look into the background of a criminal. How did this criminal become a mass murderer? How did he become a serial killer? There's typically patterns that showcase this. Things that had led to, okay, we can see how this would have all been linked together. There's no pattern between me and Sotomayor that would have showcased me having a problem with him. Like I said, David Carroll, I speak to the man, probably at least once a month. You ain't never seen me have a fallout with that brother. You ain't never seen me on YouTube beefing back and forth with that brother, ever. Oh, I'm pissed off because you got more views than me. You got more subscriptions. Huh? Get the fuck out of here with that shit. That's some of the dumbest shit I have ever seen and heard of in my life. And this, once again, is another example of how much this man lies. I'll give you another example. Monty Woodgrain. Now, those of you who know the history between me and Monty Woodgrain, back in 2013, me and him were going at it. We were going at it. That entire year, I believe it was from March all the way into December of that year, we were going at it. And later on, toward the end of 2013, that brother reached out to me and said, you know what? We ain't beefing anymore. Let's squash this shit. And that's exactly what we did. We squashed it. I even came onto a blog talk radio program that he did the following year. Haven't had a beef with that man since. And as a matter of fact, we've spoken over the phone a few times. I believe we follow each other on social media. And as a matter of fact, I believe the last time I checked that he even has a larger following than I do. So if I'm so upset because I'm looked at as an underlink, then clearly, why have I not attacked this brother? Why am I not beefing back and forth with him? Now, me and him were going heavy at it with each other. But how is it the two people that were going heavy at it with each other, saying some foul shit about one another, can squash the beef and never have another beef again? If the issue was me. But see, once again, what Tommy Sotomayor is attempting to do is project his problems and his issues onto other people. Because this is how he works. He can't own up to the fact that he's a fucked up individual and has issues that he needs to go ahead and get fucking checked out. So what he does is, well, it ain't me. I ain't done nothing to him. They just kept fucking with him. No, that's the line that you use when people keep fucking with you. You ain't never heard me get on YouTube and say they keep fucking with me. They keep fucking with me. You ain't never heard me do no shit like that. Well, I ain't do anything to him, but they just kept fucking with him. No, you slandered me. You attempted to slander me. Only difference is when you're dealing with an alpha male is going to be able to check that bullshit. A beta male is just going to get his ass handed to him, and that's going to be that. But you ain't going to pull that bullshit with me, which is another reason why I'm going through these screenshots. Let me slide over to the next one. And y'all can briefly go ahead and just look at some of this shit right now. Him letting me know when he was in the city. And this is all the way back from 2014. I believe it goes back to 2013. Why the hell did they do that? Okay, so this is, and these screenshots are in no particular order. I just downloaded the folder and set it back in my picture album. So it's going to come forth as in any random order. So this is what you're dealing with. Okay, let me go back for a second. So these are the phone calls I made in 2015 when he was in New York. And this was after mutual friends that we both knew were reaching out to me, telling me that he was looking to hear from me. I believe the guy's name was David Spence. I don't think I still have that folder in this storage card. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to link in the description box all of the videos and the beefs that I had with this man. That's going to be linked in the description box. They will be set up as unlisted videos. So if you actually go to the channel and try to find those videos, you won't be able to find them. You can only find them once you click onto this video and click onto it will be linked underneath the PayPal account for those of you who would like to donate. But you can go ahead and look directly underneath that link and you'll find those videos. This is a screenshot that somebody put together for me. This is neither here nor there. This is just satire, I guess you can say. This is the video he did back in 2013 where he was actually giving me props, even though it's titled "What I Don't Like About Equacy 100." But it was more or less being sarcastic. This is another guy on Facebook saying, "Hey, I was looking to see you and hear from you at Tommy's event. You know, maybe we'll link up another time." So the messages were coming in, and all this stuff is going to be seen in those videos. Here's the exchange after, I believe I called him 2 times, and then I texted him, I believe it was the next day. Because this is when David Spence was asking me to reach out to him. Tommy wants to hear from you. He's looking for you to call him. And literally what Tommy Sotomayor was doing, and this is going to be stated in those videos, he was staging the scene to make it seem as if I was just this diehard a stand of his. This is what he tried to make it seem as if I was. Some diehard stand who was just begging to hang out with him. So this is what it is. Y'all see this shit. All right. And then he started, this is the reason why he had a fallout with me. So when he's telling you, I didn't do anything to him, he just kept fucking with me. He had a fallout with me because I wouldn't give him a birthday shout out. Now, this is from some dumb bitch by the name of Lisa Love. I told y'all this back when this whole shit happened. This idiot reached out. First of all, this was a female that I didn't even know. I went to one of his showcases that he had in 2014 when he was here in New York for a little while. Lisa and some dude named Jerome were there. She requested me on Facebook, and I accepted it. Next thing I know, some months later, she's asking me about, leaving me a message about giving a birthday shout out. The first time she left a message, I didn't reply. Then she messages me again. So then I just tell her, listen, you know, with all due respect, you know, and as a matter of fact, the screenshot is here. So this is me responding to Lisa Love. I'll let y'all read that for a second. I'm not going to read it out loud. Now this is me responding back to Tommy Sotomayor, letting him know this is what I stated. And if you don't want to link up, then I'll understand. Now listen, let me just go ahead and make this perfectly clear, and I'll leave the screen over here for a second. I don't feel entitled to another man or anybody else's energy or their attention or nothing that they have. So if somebody tells me, listen, I don't want to deal with you, then I can respect that. I won't shame Tommy Sotomayor for saying he didn't want to, I don't want to link up with you because you didn't give me a birthday shout out. If that's how he felt, then that's perfectly fine. But now the following year, he reached out to me one night and apologized to me. And you're going to see that screenshot. This is something that I didn't show y'all because this happened a year later. And I just said, you know what? I'm just going to hold on to this, document the evidence, and I'm just going to leave it alone. Now, if I ever need to use it, then I'll use it. If not, I'll just leave it alone. Now, I had no intentions on using it, but now here we are at that time where I feel the need that I need to use it. Sotomayor, what the hell was I just saying a second ago? Oh, the problem that I have with him is not that he had a beef with me or had an issue with me because I didn't want to give him a birthday shout out. It doesn't even bother me that he felt the need to talk about it. But that's not what he did. What he did was he literally lied and made up a bunch of shit that never happened. This is what he did. And the reason why he did this, because he knows most people are going to look at this and say, man, listen, why are you so upset with this man for not giving you a birthday shout out? That response is not warranted to the events of what actually had taken place. Because just like I'm not entitled to this man's attention or him hanging out with me or linking up, or his words hang out, I say link up, it's the same way he is not entitled to me giving him a birthday shout out in some fucking video. So when this happened, he obviously felt some kind of way. So now let me just go ahead and scroll over to the next one. Back in those videos, he stated that when you were around me, and like I told y'all, he tried to portray me as being a groupie, a straight up stand, which is one of the worst things you can do. And this is the other reason why I say to the Solo TV 84, you claiming to be starstruck over another man, that's not a good sign, guy. That really isn't. But also, in addition, what Sotomayor tried to say is that when you were hanging out with me, you were with me, even though I'm in my own city. But anyhow, you know, okay. He literally tried to insinuate or state that I was taking selfies, taking photos. This is what he stated, that I was taking selfies with myself and him. Now look at the picture right here. And this is what I showcased to y'all back when this shit all happened. That I wasn't the one taking a selfie. What do you see me doing? In my right hand, you see me talking on my phone. I think I was talking to my ex-girlfriend at the time. In my left hand, you see me throwing up the peace sign. Right beside me on the left-hand side of me is Tommy Sotomayor with the thumbs up, the big thumbs up in his right hand, his pink shirt on, and what's going on in his left hand is he's got the camera in his hand taking what? The very same thing he tried to project onto me, taking a fucking selfie. It wasn't me taking a selfie with him. He was taking a selfie with who? The brother of logic and common sense. What else do I say about this? So, I mean, once again, if I'm such an underling, listen, if y'all really think that about me, that's fine. I don't give a fuck about what people think of me. And I'm going off of his words now. If people look at me as irrelevant, if they look at me as an underling, if they look at me as less than, that's fine. I don't give a fuck about what y'all think. I don't live my life according to what other people think of me. I have never operated like that. This is why it doesn't matter to me when y'all come to me and say what y'all say about me. It means nothing. But once again, I want y'all to notice that this is what the man was stating about me. That I was a groupie, that I was a stan, that I was running around taking pictures and selfies. No, I was filming video. That's what I was doing. But clearly when it comes down to who's taking selfies, it wasn't me. Let's scroll over to the next one. Okay, and listen, the date, everything is right here. Friday, June 24th, 2016. This is 12:02 a.m. That's the one thing I love about cell phones and data and being able to screenshot things. It documents every fucking thing. So there's nothing that could be made up here. And then you see what it was. I'm just chilling in my bed. I would like to apologize, bro. I don't like all that BS that happened. Now, I didn't even know. This is me in the green. I didn't even know who this was. I'm like, who's this? Tommy Sotomayor, bro. I say, okay. Okay. That was as far as I was going to go with it. And the okay only stood for I acknowledge the fact that you reached out to me and apologized. Now, the funny thing is, when this happened at that time, I had a conversation with a Chad Factor. And the Chad Factor said, don't you think that's a noble thing that he actually reached out to you and apologized? And I said, no. Not that that's not a good thing to do, but I don't think he has good intentions behind it. And what substantiates what I've already said back then to the Chad Factor is what Tommy Sotomayor stated just a little while ago in this video production that I've showed you. He was an underling and wanted to make his own way. Now, once again, if he doesn't remember, let me say this for the first time. If he doesn't fully remember what happened, he'd be wondering, hey, I'm not too sure what happened between me and him. I don't really recall, so I don't want to speak on something that I don't really remember. See, that's at least being honest. That's at least showcasing when you know what, maybe I have changed from what I once was back in the day. Maybe I've realized some errors in my ways from back then. No, but what the man did was he doubled down on his bullshit. That's what he did. And I told y'all I deleted his contact information, everything, because it said there's no name to the damn number. It said, what does it say? Add to contact, block number. This is the option that came up when I looked at it, because I don't know who this number is. Up until he stated who he was. Tommy Sotomayor, bro. So I want y'all to understand, despite the fact that he reached out, he apologized, but here we are in 2021. This is back in 2016 now. Here we are in 2021, 4 or 5 years later, and the man is still lying. That's what lets me know the apology is not sincere. The biggest issue that you have, Tommy Sotomayor, is you beefing with other men, okay? You cannot form an alliance with black men because you don't know how to. The only thing you know how to do is be dysfunctional. You complain about black women, but you engage in the very same dysfunctional behavior that you complain about. So therefore, at this point, your talking points become null and void. And now let me go on to the next thing. And I think this is the last thing. I want y'all to take a look at this. I told y'all there was something on his on that live stream that we was looking at. And this is a link that was sent to me, I believe sometime over the summer last year. Tommy Sotomayor has a Pornhub account, and let me go ahead and say this much. We're not talking about an account where, let me see, I don't know if I can scroll down anymore. We're not talking about an account where, okay, he just views some stuff and looks at videos. No. He has a Pornhub account to where he is engaging. Now, you notice how over the years he talked about the dark-skinned black women and how they were based off of their skin complexion. They, the dark-skinned ones are always the more ratchet ones and engaging in more wild behavior. I never got into that whole colorism bullshit. I think it's fucking stupid. But this is literally what he has done over the years. But yet he is on Pornhub having unprotected sex with the very same dark-skinned, the Terminatrix and the BT-1000s and the beasties that he's been talking about all these damn years. He's having sex with. Literally selling videos on Pornhub. This is literally what he's doing. So when y'all want to know where his credibility has gone, the man has lost integrity a long time ago. He's done. He's finished. This is some of the lowest shit. How do you go from having a status like of a Tommy Sotomayor to resorting to this? This right here showcases that you hit some pretty rock bottom places. That if you're on X videos selling dick clips and porn, I mean, come on. I really don't even know what to say about this. Because this is embarrassing. How could anybody take you seriously? And when anybody, if people who know this shit about you would know, listen, I'm not going to fuck with this brother. I can't. How can you fuck with a man who does this? How can you fuck with a man who thinks on this level? Who would find himself in such a predicament? I mean, come on, man. Furthermore, let's just go ahead and take it one step further. Because years ago, he actually held a radio show with a porn star. And I forgot the porn star's name, but she had a child. And he pretty much disagreed with her for being a porn star while having a child. Now, listen, I can agree with that. I say if you are going to get into that lifestyle, then don't have children. Why? Because it is your children who are going to end up suffering behind the choices that you make. And this is one of the issues that we have with a lot of parents. They make fucked up decisions and don't give two shits about your child. Because your child is going to be the one that's traumatized behind that when they grow up and go into the school system and all those other kids know that your parent is a porn star. Know that your mother is getting down and dirty to make a goddamn buck. Now listen. To criticize this is a legitimate thing. But then how do you find yourself criticizing this at one point? 2 years later, you're doing the same fucking thing. Now, it has been noted that Tommy Sotomayor has several children. How are they going to view their father? Being on X videos, selling porn clips. I literally had to edit this shit out. Now, I attempted to get this video done last week. But when I looked at this shit and I put the screenshot in there, I said, this is going to get, I can't have this up here. But see, after editing this shit, I mean, he showcases this on his OnlyFans, and I guarantee you, if you click onto that, this is where it's going to take you, to Pornhub, where you can see this man engaging in porn video clips. This is that just shows that you've hit some pretty low spots in your life. But one of the reasons why you lost integrity and credibility is over the years you were supposed to have produced, and this was back since 2013, your Fatherless America documentary, which he never did. He talked about this in 2013. 2014 is when he started traveling the country. He linked up with me back in 2014. He linked up with a bunch of other people, and he could have easily said, you know what, let me try to get some interviews with these other black male YouTube content creators and get their perspectives. and I can actually use this for my documentary. Not one time did he do this. He said that I stole footage from him back in 2014 when we were out in Harlem. And I mentioned in those videos, hey, listen, if he was doing something for his documentary and he had asked me, listen, would you mind not recording because I would like to put some of this stuff in my documentary? I'd have gladly put the camcorder away without a problem. No problem. No problem. But years have gone by, and I told y'all back when I had my fallout with him that he was not going to produce this documentary. I told you then he was a fraud. He got mad at me for saying that, but listen, years later, he still has not produced a documentary. But he has traveled the country on numerous different occasions, buying prostitutes, picking up women at everyone else's expense. Because it was a bunch of people who were donating to him that believed in this man's message. And he failed to deliver. Instead, what he showcased is that he was engaging in a bunch of goddamn foolishness. This is very similar to Crystalline Carrison. This is a female that showcases that she engages in a bunch of goddamn foolishness when you have bigger issues that you should be tackling, but you're not tackling them. This is how y'all start to lose credibility, when y'all find yourselves doing dumb shit day in and day out. Now, some of the fallouts with black men, listen, people can still fuck with you behind that, because I'll tell you this much right now. You got a lot of popular male content creators who, in certain cases, will be flat out disrespectful to their audience. Jason Black is one that will do this on a regular basis. He is one that will call his audience out for asking stupid questions. But yet he will still hold legitimacy. He still holds integrity. He still is a relevant figure on YouTube or social media platform. And I'm going to tell you the reason why for that. Because people can look past whether it is you are disrespectful or not to other black men. What people overall want to know is when you say you are going to deliver a product, then goddamn it, that product can be found. That product can be touched. If Jason Black tells you, listen, I want y'all to go to various parts of New York City, Manhattan, and certain areas of Brooklyn. I want y'all to take a look for certain things and send me the pictures. You best believe you're going to find some billboards of Jason Black calling out racism, calling out Governor Cuomo. If Jason Black tells you, I'm going to produce a documentary called 7 a.m., you better believe it's going to be a documentary that you can download or purchase through Amazon or some other website. If he says, I'm going to produce a documentary called Race War, you better believe there's going to be a documentary that you can visibly find. Likewise with Tariq Nasheed, and many of y'all know I don't fuck with Tariq Nasheed, but at the end of the goddamn day, if the man says he's going to do something, you can rest assured it is going to happen. On the other hand, Tommy Sotomayor, when you say you are going to do something, it's not going to happen. So not only do you have fallouts and endless beefs with black men for petty, stupid fucking reasons, but you fail to produce after receiving donation after donation after donation. You fail to produce, and people who actually at one point in time believed in your message had to find out the hard way, as I one time did, that this man ain't shit. This man is a bullshit artist. This man ain't about unity of black men. He's about traveling the country and tricking off a bunch of money on pussy. And listen, if you want to spend some money on some ass, I don't give a fuck what you do. But make sure you produce the goddamn produce what you say you're going to produce. If not, then stop asking for goddamn donations. But this is the reason to as of why Sotomayor has fallen off. This is what he's been reduced to. On Pornhub, possibly X videos, on OnlyFans. Last time I checked, well, I don't know. I just, when men have an OnlyFans account, I don't know what to make out of that. I really don't. I'm not going to judge it or give my opinion on it, but it just, the reason why I say it just looks a little suspicious to me is because typically females have OnlyFans accounts, and you know what you can find on these OnlyFans accounts. They're selling naked booty clips and pics. This is what they're doing. So when you see a man doing this, you got the question, is this what you're doing as well? And clearly, we know that this is what this man is doing. And with that being stated, I figured I'd go ahead and I'd drop my little 2 cents. If you're going to have something to say about me, I'm not going to let you slander me. If you're going to talk about what happened between the two of us in 2014 and 2015, then tell the fucking truth. That's it. If you lie, I always got the means to go ahead and substantiate what it is that I said back then and can still do it now. And like I told y'all, the initial videos where I had my exchange with him, they will be linked in the description box directly underneath the PayPal account for those who would like to donate of this video, and it will be set as unlisted videos. And with that being stated, well, just one other note. Just one other note before I close this video out. Because the same way he states how Kevin Samuels stole his talking points, he insinuated that I stole the logic and common sense thing from him. This is what he stated back in 2015. You got the logic and common sense thing from me. He even went as far as to say that, because at that time I used to use the terminology glaze, hands up, don't glaze. I used to use that word on a regular basis. I stopped using it, I believe, back in 2015. But he even tried to say that I got that from him. So once again, what I want you to notice is there's a consistent pattern of this man trying to project his issues onto other people. Even though the Logic and Common Sense, I changed my channel name to the Brother of Logic and Common Sense since 2014. Even those who have been rocking with me from back in the day since 2011 know that my closeouts, and in certain cases, in certain videos, the intro would be, for those of you who have watched this channel, you realize this channel is in the defense of those who think logic and those who make sense. That is an intro and an outro that I have been using since 2011. And that was more than 10 years ago. So once again, I want y'all to pick up on the pattern. Notice that what he is saying about other people is, this is the same shit that he showcases on each and every occasion. But he tries to project this off on the other people as if this is their issue when this is really his problem. And with that being stated, I'm going to get ready to close this video out. And I'll catch you on a later date.